In this audiobook summary, we'll uncover the 4 most dangerous personalities that can disrupt your life, often without you even realizing it. From the charming yet self-obsessed narcissist to the unpredictable and emotionally unstable, we'll explore how these personalities operate and, more importantly, how they can deeply impact your well-being. But don't worry, this isn't just about identifying threats. Stick with me until the end, and you'll learn the critical strategies to protect yourself and your loved ones from these dangerous individuals. The world is not always as safe as it seems. Behind closed doors, these dangerous personalities commit acts of violence, financial fraud, and emotional manipulation. They can turn lives upside down, leaving devastation in their wake. Joe, drawing from years of experience in the FBI, shares the disturbing behaviors of these individuals, hoping that with this knowledge, we can better protect ourselves. Through his work, Joe identified 4 types of dangerous personalities: the narcissist, the emotionally unstable, the paranoid, and the predator. These individuals operate in the shadows, causing harm before anyone even realizes it. They are skilled manipulators who exploit the weaknesses of others without remorse. The law means nothing to them, and they often find joy in the suffering they cause. Sadly, many of them go uncaught, and by the time they are, the damage is already done. But Joe doesn't want you to live in fear. He wants you to be empowered. By understanding these personalities, you can keep yourself and your loved ones safe. This book is not about scaring you. It's about equipping you with the knowledge and strategies to navigate a world where danger might be closer than you think. Joe's journey began as a young police officer when he first encountered the harsh reality of these dangerous individuals. While patrolling the seemingly safe University of Utah, he witnessed a terrifying event that would change his life forever. On June 27, 1975, 15-year-old Susan Curtis vanished from a youth conference at another university. Her disappearance was a mystery, leaving her family and friends devastated. Despite a thorough investigation, no clues emerged, no CCTV footage, no witnesses, nothing to indicate where she had gone. The weight of this failure haunted Joe, especially since he was on duty that night. For years, he couldn't shake the feeling that he could have done more to protect her. As time passed, Susan's case grew cold, but one day Joe received a call that would bring the truth to light. The investigator revealed that they had finally identified Susan's abductor. A young, seemingly charming man named Ted Bundy. Bundy confessed not only to kidnapping and killing Susan, but also to the murders of 35 other girls across different cities. Joe was devastated. The realization that he might have been able to save Susan if only he had been more vigilant was a heavy burden to bear. This tragic experience motivated him to become a criminal profiler with the FBI's Tampa division, dedicating his life to understanding and stopping these dangerous individuals. Susan's case serves as a stark reminder. Dangerous people are everywhere. They could be in schools, offices, churches, or even within the walls of your own home. This book is your guide to recognizing these threats and staying safe in an unpredictable world. Now let's dive into the next chapter, where we begin to unravel the traits of these dangerous personalities. The narcissistic personality. People with a narcissistic personality are constantly craving attention. They will go to any lengths to stay in the spotlight. Narcissists don't care about others. They lie, cheat, and exaggerate to achieve success. Their only concern is themselves. They have no regard for how much effort others put in or how they might feel. They are driven purely by their desires and needs. This type of personality can be found anywhere. Narcissists are often arrogant and shameless, willing to sacrifice others to fulfill their own desires. They craft elaborate ideas to bring themselves happiness, often at the expense of others. Just like a child who constantly seeks the attention of adults, narcissists never outgrow this phase. Even as they age, this need for attention drives them to make dramatic entrances at meetings, family events, and parties, arriving late just to capture everyone's attention. They never feel guilty about the delays they cause. Instead, they bask in the attention they receive. Narcissists are quick to identify the weaknesses of others, using these vulnerabilities to belittle them and derive satisfaction. They believe that no one can ever measure up to them, viewing themselves as superior to everyone else. This is why society often labels them as bullies or tyrants. Empathy is a foreign concept to narcissists. They didn't learn or experience it during childhood, and they always see themselves as superior to others. When you need empathy, they respond with coldness and display their power instead. Sometimes you might encounter a rare moment of kindness from them, but beware. There's always a hidden agenda. It might seem like they care or are being nice, but eventually, their true selfish nature will reveal itself, and you'll realize that their actions were just a means to an end. You'll find many narcissists in professions like law, medicine, and politics. These individuals constantly seek ways to control others, and their status or position provides them with an effective means to do so. Narcissists are often intelligent, interesting, charming, and attractive, which makes them difficult to recognize. Calling them human might not even be entirely accurate because they lack empathy for others. They are always on the lookout for people who can fulfill their needs, but no one can ever truly satisfy them. If you encounter a narcissist, be prepared for emotional, psychological, and even physical harm. Let's explore this with an example. Matilda fell in love with a handsome man who told her to stop working, and she agreed. However, over time, she grew frustrated with having to ask him for money for everything. This man was extremely controlling, and eventually, Matilda felt suffocated in the relationship. In the end, the same man who initially showered Matilda with love left her for another woman. By this time, Matilda was nearly 50 years old, with no money, forcing her to take on multiple jobs just to meet her basic needs. Matilda says she gave everything to the relationship, yet today she has nothing left. She feels empty and worthless. The man she trusted with her life stripped away her freedom and dignity. Being involved with a narcissist is no joke. They can be incredibly dangerous. As was the case with Hedda Nussbaum and her 6-year-old daughter, Lisa. Hedda was working as a book editor when she met Joel Steinberg, an attorney. Despite the fact that Joel constantly belittled her, Hedda did everything he asked. He was everything to her. Joel treated Hedda like an animal, beating her so severely that her face became disfigured. But a few years later, Joel went too far. He took out his rage on Hedda's daughter, Lisa, beating her so badly that she died. Hedda was suffering from battered wife syndrome, so terrified by Joel that she couldn't even protect her own daughter. Do you see the similarities between Matilda and Hedda's cases? People who live with narcissists often feel weak and small, incapable of defending themselves or escaping the toxic relationship. Now let's move on to the next chapter, where we'll uncover another dangerous personality: the emotionally unstable personality. People with an emotionally unstable personality experience rapid and unpredictable shifts in their emotions, which is why they are referred to as emotionally unstable. Their constantly changing moods can be compared to the weather. Just as it's difficult to predict when the weather will change, it's equally hard to predict their emotional state. This instability often damages relationships, leaving those around them feeling drained and frustrated. Their erratic behavior not only affects their mental and physical health, but also harms their relationships. Like narcissists, emotionally unstable individuals also crave attention and will go to great lengths to fulfill their desires. However, while narcissists seek superiority, emotionally unstable people are driven by a desperate need for support and validation. Their constant demands can make others feel suffocated. There are often neurological and biological factors behind this behavior. It could stem from childhood trauma, substance abuse, physical or sexual abuse, or a lack of parental love. There is also a hereditary aspect involved in emotional instability. Living with an emotionally unstable person tests one's patience and can gradually erode understanding and empathy. While they certainly need professional help, those around them also suffer and may need therapy to cope with the stress of their behavior. When their needs aren't met, they lash out at others, or in some cases, hurt themselves. Although it's normal for people to occasionally feel irritable or anxious, emotionally unstable individuals experience these feelings excessively, making it difficult for even professionals to handle them. They may know their behavior is wrong, but they can't seem to stop themselves from acting out. Emotionally unstable people are highly sensitive to criticism. When someone rejects them or their ideas, they feel deeply insulted. In response, they often accuse others of betrayal, portraying themselves as victims to garner sympathy. These individuals are sometimes referred to as wound collectors because they constantly reopen old wounds. They bring up past mistakes to justify their complaints and even their violence. Their fragile egos drive them to seek revenge for the smallest perceived slights. Emotionally unstable individuals often engage in self-harm and experience feelings of shame, guilt, and regret for their actions. This creates a never-ending cycle of emotional instability that traps them and everyone around them. For example, in 2006, a young man murdered his entire family. He didn't plan it, nor was it premeditated. His parents had spent years trying to control his behavior, hoping he would eventually change. They lived in constant fear of his unpredictable outbursts. In a fit of rage, he brutally killed both his parents and his younger brother. Afterward, he wandered the streets with no clear destination. When he was arrested, he admitted that he was still angry and had no regrets about what he had done. He felt that he had eliminated the people who were responsible for his inner turmoil. His parents had attempted to help him by setting limits on his behavior, but his violent response ultimately destroyed their lives. This case serves as a reminder that emotionally unstable people can be extremely dangerous, not only to themselves but also to others. Despite the best efforts of their loved ones, emotionally unstable individuals often remain unpredictable and difficult to manage. Their unpredictable behavior and frequent mood swings create a toxic environment for those around them. It's crucial to recognize the signs of emotional instability in others to protect yourself and seek help if you are in a relationship with someone like this. The next chapter will delve into another dangerous personality, the paranoid personality. People with paranoid personalities are overly suspicious and mistrustful. They constantly feel that others are plotting against them. This paranoia can consume their thoughts and actions, leading to an obsession with self-protection. They often misinterpret the words and actions of others as threats, even when no harm is intended. Paranoia can lead to extreme behavior, including violence, as they believe they are acting in self-defense. This type of personality can be incredibly isolating, as their mistrust pushes others away. People with paranoid personalities often experience intense feelings of fear and suspicion. They are highly defensive and constantly on guard, believing that others are out to get them. This constant vigilance takes a toll on their relationships as they struggle to trust even those closest to them. The paranoid personality often develops as a result of early life experiences, such as being raised in an environment of mistrust or having parents who were overly critical or abusive. These individuals often struggle with feelings of inadequacy and fear of rejection. They may also have a history of trauma or abuse, which further fuels their paranoia. In some cases, the paranoid personality may be linked to neurological or biological factors. For example, people with certain mental health disorders, such as schizophrenia, may experience paranoia as a symptom of their condition. Living with a paranoid person can be incredibly challenging, as their mistrust and suspicion can create a toxic environment. They may become controlling and manipulative, using fear and intimidation to keep others in line. They may also engage in stalking or harassment, believing that they are protecting themselves from perceived threats. The paranoid personality is often associated with violence, as these individuals may feel justified in using force to protect themselves. They may also be prone to outbursts of anger and aggression, which can escalate into dangerous situations. In some cases, the paranoid personality may be linked to criminal behavior, as these individuals may engage in illegal activities to protect themselves from perceived threats. They may also be involved in extremist groups or conspiracy theories, as their paranoia drives them to seek out like-minded individuals who share their beliefs. It's important to recognize the signs of a paranoid personality and take steps to protect yourself if you're in a relationship with someone like this. The final chapter will explore the most dangerous personality of all, the predator. Predators are individuals who lack empathy and are driven by a desire to control and dominate others. They view others as objects to be used and discarded, with no regard for their feelings or well-being. Predators are often highly intelligent and manipulative, using charm and deceit to lure their victims into a false sense of security. They are skilled at identifying vulnerabilities and exploiting them for their gain. Predators can be found in all walks of life, from serial killers to white-collar criminals. They often have a history of criminal behavior and may have been involved in multiple illegal activities. Predators are often motivated by a desire for power and control, and they will go to any lengths to achieve their goals. They may engage in stalking, harassment, or even murder to maintain their dominance over others. Predators are often difficult to identify, as they are skilled at hiding their true intentions. They may appear charming and charismatic, but beneath the surface, they are cold and calculating. If you suspect that someone in your life is a predator, it's important to take steps to protect yourself. This may include cutting off contact with the individual, seeking help from law enforcement, or obtaining a restraining order. It's also important to be aware of the signs of predatory behavior and to trust your instincts if something feels off. In conclusion, the 4 dangerous personalities: narcissistic, emotionally unstable, paranoid, and predatory can wreak havoc on your life if you're not careful. By understanding these personalities and recognizing the signs of their behavior, you can protect yourself and your loved ones from harm. It's important to remember that while these personalities are dangerous, they are also rare. Most people you encounter will not fit into these categories, and it's important not to live in fear. However, by being aware of the signs and taking steps to protect yourself, you can navigate the world with greater confidence and security. Thank you for listening to this audiobook summary. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and take care of yourself and those you love.